Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we conducted an investigation into whether or not Soseki Natsume is guilty. I think I've said enough times who that guy is. So without further ado, let's start the trial. I still don't know what happened. Do you guys know? I don't. Who stabbed the munchkin? Who's a munchkin? I don't know. Looked like a pretty normal young woman to me. 20th of February, 9:23 a.m. Old Bailey, defendant lobby. I can't believe it. I'm already back in this courthouse.
We came here as exchange students to learn the legal system of this country, Egg.
Vinny, what's up? How y'all doing?
As such, we must stand in court to advance our studies.
Yeah, you're right about that, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment for the defendant. It could decide his entire fate. Yeah, it feels like Susato is a bit more removed from the personal aspect of defending clients than Naruhodo is. It's okay, Naruhodo, you got heart. I can't bring myself to call it just another day of studying.
You do have a point.
Maybe Susato is just trying to cope with it. You haven't missed much, we just started. Good morning to you both! Soseki? I need to get back into his voice. I gotta do a Brad impression. Yes, Oh, good morning, Soseki. Even outside the jail, he's still as paranoid as ever.
Your eyes look completely bloodshot.
There's a saying in my land. The early to their eyes gain some small benefit. Yeah, I've heard that. After all, I'm Japanese. Okay. I'm Japanese. So if waking up early earns me a little extra, then should I not sleep for even an instant? In just one night, the benefit could add up to a single penny. Big earnings right here. That is why you see me here in such a drowsy state. Does he think a not guilty verdict is only worth a penny? Oh, if he knows the exchange rate between England and Japan, but he's been here long enough, he should.
I wish you luck today, Soseki.
My divinely decreed destiny is perturbed. Fleeting life I eagerly entrusted to you. How nervous I am! I still don't understand him, but the part about being nervous definitely shines through. I'm glad you understand. So very glad. In any case, substitute law student Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? Just a moment ago, I was able to catch a glimpse of the courtroom's gallery. There were as many people present as there would be in the opening day of Great Theatre. Is my impending judgment really so popular with the London public? I guess it's a foreign relations thing. They said back in the first trial of this whole game that took place in Japan, they did treat Japanese-British relations with the utmost care. There were that many people? I didn't know that. I'm 10 minutes late. No, nobody knows that. Not anybody on the YouTube video, at least. Would you happen to know why, Susato? Would you happen to know why?
I can't really say that I do.
The look on her face tells me otherwise. Please do not hide the truth from me. Could it possibly be because of the Grim Reaper? Prosecutor Van Zeeks. This guy again? Is that why, Susato? I don't know if that many people showed up for Magundal's hearing.
I went out and bought all today's newspapers. And, indeed, Prosecutor Van Zeeks was on the front page of every single one.
He was right.
After he earned the title of Grim Reaper, for a number of years, he avoided the courts.
Right. Inspector Gadget said the same thing yesterday. The trial 2 days ago is a revival after so many years. The horrifying case of Cosney McGundle. It's something... I feel like we're gonna find out. We're gonna have some sort of flashback case. You know, one of those X years ago's, which will tell us why exactly Van Zieks took such a big break from prosecution.
It caused an even greater uproar within London than today's upcoming trial. And we had no idea, only just having arrived in London.
We had no idea having just arrived in London.
And why has he decided to prosecute such a trivial case only 2 days later? Each newspaper is spreading their own speculation.
Trivial? To me, this is the most important thing since the foundation of Japan.
My apologies. It's the newspapers that keep saying it.
His Japanese boyfriend betrayed him. At least that's what the tabloids are saying. Whose boyfriend? Van Zieks's? Well, I suppose this will further fuel the blaze of international tensions. Though it is odd that the prosecutor has suddenly awakened from his long slumber. There was one more similarity between the two trials he has prosecuted.
Indeed, I feel the same way.
Of course. That would be you, substitute law student Naruhodo. Me? Me? I guess that does make sense. In the true trials of the newly revived Grim Reaper, one attorney stands against him. Dear me, it almost feels as though you two might be good friends. He's not Edgeworth, as edgy as he is, and as worthy as he is. Don't be ridiculous. I don't make friends with bringers of death. They just somehow are attracted to me.
If that's true, then there's one possibility. You have incredibly, hopelessly, irredeemably poor luck.
The ultimate unlucky student. That's a little dramatic. No, defended by an attorney with such dreadful luck. What has my life come to? This unpredictable misfortune is surely more monumental than the foundation of Japan. That's his only point of reference, apparently. But you're the one who entrusted me with your fate, Soseki. Oh, I'm just a student with no luck, experience, or real ability, and I've only just arrived in London. But even so, I'm prepared to believe in you and to fight with all I have in me until the bitter end. Oh, substitute law student Naruhodo. The bitter end, huh? Didn't need me to tell him that.
You're not alone in London anymore. Whatever may come, we stand beside you.
No! Legal assistant Susato! No! He's moved to tears. Then I, Soseki, humbly, respectfully place my thought. Defendant, attorney. Court is about to begin. Make way to the courtroom at once. Yeah, I know the drill. Oh. Trainer Millie, welcome back. How far are we in the case? We just started the trial. I don't, forgive me if I don't remember who exactly was here for the investigation, but I'm sure we'll go over it again once the trial starts. So you're just in time. Looks like it's time. Let's go, Soseki. The newest Pokemon game. Let's go, Soseki and Eevee. Yes, sir! I feel like my voice for him is a bit different than last time. It's supposed to be a bit more brand-like, yes. Did we make it to the trial? We're starting it now. It's finally about to begin. My second time standing in a British court. And my second time facing the Grim Reaper. Out of, like, apparently only 3. Watch over me, Asogi. Oh, Ghost Asogi. Now he has a reason for his bandana to fly in the sky. Their ghost bandana. It died with him. This time, I'm ready to believe in my client through and through. And I'll follow what you taught me as well. In that short time where I agreed to become a lawyer after you went to be accepted in the exchange program. I'll believe in my own skill as an attorney as I fight on. Millie saw the investigation, but not much. For sure we'll go over it again. Marlon, what's up? How you doing? How you been? Hope you're doing well. We're starting the trial. Hope you like murder mysteries. Not murder. The victim might actually testify. That's a first for an ace attorney. Probably not. I'm probably forgetting something. 20th February, 10 a.m., Old Bailey Crown Court.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen.
No, that's not his voice.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, we declare this court is now in session. I ask you, prosecution and defense, have you fully prepared your cases?
Yes, I have, Santa Claus.
The prosecution is ready.
The defense is ready.
The creatures known as Japanese truly are fascinating.
Holy sh... Dude, be nice. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Why do you say it like that, even?
I heard about you from Lord Vortex himself, Lord Vader. 2 days ago, a pair of Greenhorn exchange students had just arrived in London.
Is this like Van Zieks' fourth voice by now? Fifth? Well, Mike, thanks for the host. What of it?
You wish to save the defendant who happens to be your countryman. Typical Japanese hubris.
I apologize for interrupting, but I don't consider that hubris.
Hold on just a second. I'll get the chat after a break in this intro. Tsuzato.
As I recall, our last trial ended with a not guilty verdict.
Who keeps letting him bring him wine? Does he just have his own cellar full of it? He brings it in. It's right under the courtroom, isn't it?
So it was, and what a decadent verdict it was. Yet, much to your chagrin. After the trial ended, the defendant met his own untimely demise, yes?
We didn't see a body. I'm not completely sure. Huh? Oh boy.
Very well, it appears the trial is safe to proceed. Sensible citizens chosen by the capital city.
Oh, we're about to see the jury. Before we do that, let me address the chat. Marlon, what's up? Doing all right. Got a major headache. Oof. Yeah, that was me the other day. I don't know what happened. It's just every time I go sleep in my parents' place, trying to take it easy and lying down. Well, you know what that means. Sleepy time. He needs to play the Ace Attorney games. He played some of the first one after watching Luca play most of the first game. Oh, absolutely, Marlon. Pick it up. I will buy you the Steam version of Ace Attorney Trilogy if I have to. Yeah. Oh, well, hope you feel better soon, Marlon.
Sensible citizens, are you all prepared?
Hey, wait a minute! Mr. Fairplay, what are you doing? Is this not... I guess you're technically not involved in this case. Sensible citizens chosen, huh?
As a gentleman, should I fall to fight for justice today, it may be my life on the line tomorrow.
Ooh, what is?
You know, I can be a lot meaner than I look.
Yes, as you can plainly see, I'm but a mild-mannered young man.
Hey, wait a minute. I know you're angry sun lady. Well, yeah. I'm starting to think that the jury system might be rigged. You're the wife. I missed out. I didn't actually say that. I didn't actually say her line.
Honestly, that mustachioed man seems the type that's liable to do just about anything.
So you're not the witness, huh? I thought for sure you'd be the one. Keel's gonna head out now and cram for a thesis. Whoa. All right, Keel. Good luck. Good luck with your Python. Thanks for the... Whoa. Yeah. All right, thanks for the good wishes.
Let's get this started already. He's going to be guilty of something.
I thought the judge was Santa Claus. This guy is.
What was that? I can't hear you very well.
Is the last juror always old? Is that what happens? Well, you know, you can trust... The old people are on my side, usually. Hopefully.
Very well then. With that, we shall begin the trial post-haste. Lord Van Zieks, your opening statement, if you please.
Mere days ago, our great empire forged an alliance with an island nation in the Far East. The defendant is a visitor from that very nation. Soseki Natsume is his name. We welcomed this exchange student into our empire with open arms, and yet, to our shame, that very student has committed the most heinous crime within our capital. Almost murder.
Got rid of your glass that easy? Oh, man. He just sees my face and he's like,
The sky again! He stabbed a poor innocent woman on the street using a knife.
never mind whether or not she died. We're just gonna assume she did, apparently.
What in the world? I dare say stabbing someone with a knife is as low as you can go. Or just a step lower than stabbing somebody with a spoon.
Look, that yellow face, his tiny stature. That's definitely a Jap.
Why does it hurt so much?
I don't even care what you do. Just bring this thing to a close. Ready, set, go!
Oh, what you say? I can't hear you so well.
Don't worry, Gramps is gonna put a hearing aid in. Oh, I don't know if those are invented yet. Never mind.
How insolent of me to let the Holy Grail loose at the trial's onset. I plead your forgiveness.
Well, that's like the fourth or fifth one you've broken so far. I don't know if we can be providing you anymore, Van Zieks. You're gonna have to pay us.
At this time, I wish to summon our first witness to the court.
I wonder who it could be. It's animated really well. Oh, yes. I've mentioned in the previous streams of this, I bet that Capcom spent way more budget than they really needed to motion capture, hand animate, whatever they did. So nice. Capcom's got the big bucks. Done well for a 3DS game. Capcom's got it. Production value is money.
Very well. Call forth the inspector responsible for leading the investigation of the crime scene.
Please tell me we're going to see Sherlock Holmes at some point in here. Meanwhile, Inspector Fish and Chips is here.
Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir. My name is Tobias Gregson. I'm an inspector at Scotland Yard. Go on, Inspector. Please describe the events of this case for us.
Oh. We haven't seen the face of the victim yet. This whole time I thought it might have been Letrade, because we never saw her face. All we saw was her hair.
We believe the victim is a 20-year-old woman named Veridian Green.
That's very green.
Your eyes, they're still green.
Hold on. What do you mean by believe?
Did they disappear? Did they fall unconscious? Hector sees the stream now, but you were seeing it earlier, right?
All we know is the victim was stabbed in the back with a knife.
You weren't? That's weird. I hope it was capturing all right.
3 days have passed since the incident, but she still hasn't regained consciousness.
Oh, is that why you said I was late? No, I started already. What? That's crazy!
So, she's unconscious. Is she at least in stable condition?
Fortunately for him, this Japanese student has just narrowly avoided a murder charge. Inspector Gregson, I implore you to explain the incident in more detail. Yes, sir. Everyone, have a look at this map of the general vicinity of the scene.
Whoa, Briar Road. You see right up there, there's Briar Rabbit.
The incident occurred 3 days ago, at around 5 o'clock in the evening. The scene itself was a pavement along the side of a wide alley for coaches on Briar Road.
Don't worry what I've done with the sun. You weren't supposed to notice. It's my new attorney's badge. You like it?
The victim, Miss Green, was walking along the pavement where snow had just started falling. But then, the defendant sneaked up behind her and plunged the knife into her back. Ugh.
Do you have a witness? We need proof. This is just what we know of the case so far. Gumshoe, you are not.
Fortunately, she managed to cling to her life. She is currently admitted to a local clinic. But so long as she remains unconscious, we are unable to request testimony from her. These are the victim's files.
Medical files. I need to take a look at that.
Very well. The court accepts them as evidence.
Case file's been added. It's the Monokuma file! No, it's not Monokuma. Aw.
And what of the weapon? Sir, I have it right here. This was found in the victim's back.
Not looking good. Why is it not covered in blood? That's one huge knife. I'd sure hate to be stabbed by that thing. I've seen bigger. With such a heavy-looking knife, even a weaker person could stab someone with ease. In other words, even a wimp like Saseki could have done it. Even a limp. A limp biscuit.
That is quite a plain-looking knife. Very well. We will also accept the knife as evidence.
Knife has been filed. A large featureless pocket knife was stabbed into the victim's back. As far as we know.
So what was the culprit's motive? Surely he meant to take her valuables.
Was she carrying anything?
Judging by the items on her person, the victim was but a poor student.
University, eh? Yeah, that's definitely poor. Oh.
I surmise that she wouldn't have any valuables worth stealing in the first place.
You wouldn't know if they were stolen. Nothing was... Did you do an inspection of his apartment? Found anything that he might have taken from her?
In that case, perhaps the perpetrator held some deep resentment towards the victim.
I doubt they knew each other.
We still do not know.
Not like McGundle's knife. Yeah, didn't McGundle have like a fancy-ass knife? Nah, this is different. Why? What's with England and knives? Is that like the only weapon in this entire time period? Windy, what's up? Hoi hoi.
The exchange student seldom goes outside, save to visit the used bookshop. At present, we have yet to find any link between the victim and the defendant.
Hey! Please use an actual objection, Naruhodo. You're in an English court now. If it wasn't a robbery and he has no known grudge against her, then Soseki would have had no reason to stab Viridian. Viridian Green. That's the name of the victim. What's next? Saffron Yellow? And yet, you still arrested him. Doesn't that seem a bit too rash? Apparently not. Green greens.
Oh my god!
Throwing away the entire bottle now. Someone in the audience is now bleeding and also covered in wine. Whoop. I'm sure Van Zeeks is going to get away with any sort of murder charge if that's fatal.
How impudent of me to cast my freshly opened bottle into the gallery. I plead your forgiveness.
Sure, why not?
However...
Just chuck it with 2 fingers. It probably wasn't that full anyway.
It is your own words that should be called rash.
Eh?
Naturally, Scotland Yard would not arrest a man without just cause.
And the just cause is Sherlock's insane ramblings?
It was a popular vote, that's why. Inspector Gregson, I order you to testify. Explain to us exactly why the police arrested that man. As you wish.
Egg. Jay, what's up? Welcome. Hello. We just saw a prosecutor chuck an open bottle of wine into the gallery. Somebody is enjoying their free drink right now. How you doing? Why we arrested Soseki? If you don't know anything about this game, we're trying to acquit a famous author of a assault charge. Everything is against us right now, even though there's no real evidence.
Well, let's prove them wrong with the power of logic.
Yeah. It was around
5 p.m. when the incident occurred. And that day, the fog was unusually thin.
What evidence do they even have? I don't even know. It's just the inspector's word.
The crime scene was an open area with high visibility. Nobody else was present.
Then who was the witness? If it's not the wife, then I can only assume it was the husband? I thought juries were supposed to be impartial.
The victim fell to the ground after she was stabbed in the back. The culprit made a run for it, but as he fled the scene, he dropped the items he was carrying. The items in question were old books. It seems like he was on his way back from a used bookshop.
Doesn't he have enough? Yeah, there were like 100 books in there. Even more. Piles and piles of them. I'm sure his cat was using them as a cat tree. Shay's doing tired, but okay. Aren't we all? I barely got like, what, 3 hours of sleep last night?
We identified the defendant as the owner of the books and arrested him.
Is that the only thing linking him?
Old books, you say?
Here's a photograph that was taken by the police shortly after the crime was committed.
I'm surprised they have color photo, when in the original Ace Attorney games they only had black and white. What is this backwards stuff? It was the year 1900, for crying out loud.
Indeed. There appear to be books scattered around the victim's body.
Yeah.
Please submit this photograph to the court so that it can be admitted as evidence.
Crime scene photo has been filed in the court record. Photograph taken by the police of the scene after the incident. A large pocket knife is stabbed into the victim's back.
I'm not surprised that the Japanese are all utter cowards.
Again with the discrimination. I don't even need to point it out at this point.
Even in the face of such damning evidence, you still deny everything.
That's not his voice. Hold on, give me a sec. I need to get back into it. Well...
Now, the defendant isn't exactly denying everything.
Suzato?
What do you mean by that?
Soseki has acknowledged that he's connected to this case in one way. Isn't that right, Naruhodo?
Besides the fact that he lives there? Now that she mentions it, yesterday when we asked him about it at the jail.
There was but one other individual walking in front of me along that cursed road. She was wearing a green overcoat. When I was about to pass her by, it happened.
A knife just happened out of nowhere.
Yeah. She suddenly let out a short cry, and then she collapsed onto the cold ground. Terrified, I seized the first opportunity to flee from the cursed scene. At full speed, mind you, back to my cursed flat.
His cursed books with his cursed cat in his cursed apartment.
A green coat. That has to be it. The victim was wearing a green coat. My word! This is the first time I've seen a full color photo.
Did they have? Okay, did they actually have color photography in the late 1800s? I'm gonna look this up now. This is bothering me. This doesn't seem right. Oh, okay. Well, the first color photos were in 1861, apparently. I suppose it was possible. Huh, just not common. The defendant confirms that he fled the scene of the crime. However, that doesn't mean he was stabbed green. That's just an absurd conclusion. He just happened to be behind her when she got stabbed. You know, and no one else was there. This is not making my case look better, is it?
At that time, the accused and the victim were the only ones walking on that pavement. What is to say, nobody else was able to stab the victim. Is the accused himself not admitting to this very fact?
Maybe somebody shot the knife out of a cannon. Wait a minute. There's a cannon in the apartment. No, let's not consider that possibility. There's a cannon in the landlord's apartment, huh? That's odd. I just made that connection.
It seems that the course of this trial will be heavily influenced by this next cross-examination. Bearing that in mind, the defense will now proceed with caution in its cross-examination.
Yes, my lord.
I have no other choice.
This cross-examination will turn the whole situation around. I'm sure of it. And if I don't, then I'm doomed. Yeah, there goes the old Wright family making decisions out of desperation. Why we arrested Soseki? If there's a color photo in 1861, why are the photos all black and white in the original games? You tell me, because the first Ace Attorney takes place in 2016. I'm pretty sure we had color photos then. I think I remember that. This ain't looking good. You can say that again, Vin. Yeah. Now that seems reasonable. Cannons.
It was around 5 p.m. when the incident occurred. That day, the fog was unusually thin. The crime scene was an open area with high visibility. Nobody else was present. The victim fell to the ground after she was stabbed in the back. The culprit made a run, dropped the items. The items were all books.
Okay. Well, what I need to do is actually look over all the evidence first. Something will point me to a contradiction somewhere. I want to say we need to either prove that somebody else could have been there, or maybe she wasn't stabbed when we thought she was. Map of the scene. Let's take a look. Calabash Road. Mearsham Road. Are these real roads, or is it just like the Japanese Ace Attorney team making up English roads? They're probably real. Alright. A receipt. Soseki bought books on that day from Tattered Tales. That's Telltale after they disbanded. Tattered. Monsieur Lacroix. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Canterbury Tales. Hey, that's where Briar Rabbit comes from, huh? I might be completely wrong. 13D? Is that the price? Or the rental period? 2 shillings received in payment. Okay. Sure. The first game was released in 2001, right? Yes. Game Boy Advance. I'm pretty sure they had color photos when the Game Boy Advance was out, unless I'm in a Mandela Effect alternate universe right now. Incident summary. Victim, portly woman in her early 20s. Was that really necessary to include? Probably. Unidentified but likely Ferdy and Green. Critical condition due to a deep stab wound. Eastern footpath of Briar Road, reported by Rolla O'Malley. Who the heck is Rolla O'Malley? Because she is still unconscious, her name had been deduced from her belongings, but remains unconfirmed. One single deep wound from a knife, no other wounds found. Perpetrator captured the next day due to a tip from Rolla O'Malley. Rolla O'Malley? Who is that? That's not Sherlock Holmes. Alright, let's get a knife. How do you open this thing? Zoop. Nice. Hey, it's missing a tip. Okay. Not gonna make any mention of why it's spotless? That's the first thing I noticed. Oh, Naruhodo, take a look at the tip of this knife. It appears to have been chipped slightly. Whoa, you're right. Good eye, Susato. But where could the tip have gone? It might still be inside Verdian. Ooh. That's a good question.
That's a good question, Mega Man.
This is just a guess, but it might still be stuck inside the victim's wound. Oh, that sounds quite painful.
Big oof if true.
Nothing else I can immediately tell about the knife? Okay. Handle's made of wood. Very fancy. It's just a rather small chip. I thought it was someone wearing like multiple layers of clothing. Nothing I can examine here. Alright then. Let's say we have doubts about whether or not anybody else was there. Let's take a look. How can you be so sure?
It's simple. The witness said it himself.
That's right. Inspector Gadget mentioned that yesterday, didn't he?
Right. I believe the witness was an officer of Scotland Yard.
I guess that's who Rolly was.
You got it.
Uh-oh. We need to work up to our big boy slaps. Then we should ask that witness to testify.
The witness will be summoned, should the need arise anyway.
I need it now. But... Since it's winter, I'm almost certain the area should have already been dark by 5 o'clock. Regardless of how thin the fog was, who knows if a person would be visible in the dark?
Perhaps your tiny, distant island nation hasn't discovered the wonders of artificial light yet. But all the roads in the great capital city of London are equipped with gas lamps.
Oh. That explains it. There goes half of my argument.
The prosecution believes that these lamps provide adequate lighting for them to witness the crime.
Whoever them was.
A city which dispels the darkness of man's past. Indeed, such is our very own city of London.
Very poetic, Judge. Would you rather focus on the case, please? So, basically, in order to get the witness to testify, they'll have to get through the cross-examination first.
And with the defense's silence, you may continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Even the facial animations are 10 out of 10. Seriously, the animators behind Ace Attorney need to, like, make more Capcom games. Imagine if... Well, not a Monster Hunter game. You don't see your own character's face. I want to see him... Can we have a new Mega Man Legends, please? With these animators and developers. I missed that series. Alright, let's see if we can prove whether or not it was him running away. He said as much, but that doesn't mean he stabbed her.
You're not worthy enough for me to call an important witness. I got all the testimony I need right here.
Poor Naruhodo can't catch a break. Nobody can when they're in this family line, apparently.
What?
Jesse, what's up? Just wanted to wish me a great stream. All right, man. I'll see you later. Hope you're doing well. Take care, man. What items would those be? Thanks for the bits.
Those are also present in the photograph.
You must be referring to those 3 used books, I presume.
Yes, unfortunately, their time in the snow has left them damaged beyond salvage.
We know what the books are, though. There's plenty of copies of those.
It would be easy to carry such a small number of books under one arm as he walked. So it stands to reason that he would have been able to wield a knife in his other hand.
That prosecutor isn't pulling any punches.
Huh?
The argument that he held books in both hands no longer holds water. And now our escape route has been obstructed. I'm loath to admit that he is at least cunning.
Maybe he had more books, though. Like, okay, the receipt says he bought 3 books, sure. But, what is a shilling? That's way more to pay. Did he get change? Maybe he bought more. I don't know.
So the culprit committed the crime while he was carrying those items.
You think that's the money? Yeah, but what's the if the D's are money and the shillings are what is a D? Is that a pence? I don't know. I don't know foreign currency.
Yes, it would so seem.
I guess we'll fall back to our old mainstay of pressing everything. You said the defendant had a routine of visiting the used bookshop every day, right?
That's correct. Seems the bookshop primarily collected old works of British literature. I must express my respect towards the accused's keen fascination with our own classic literature. You're not wrong there. The defendant's room was damn near well overflowing with old books.
Could you tell us a little more about that used bookshop? overflowing, more like capacity already. More like already overflowing into the next room.
Oh, fluff. Fine. Take another look at this map of the area around the scene. The closest used bookshop to the defendant's flat would be the Ragged Reader.
That's not the one he went to, though.
It's a small bookshop on the corner of Briar and Meerschaum. By the by, the defendant's flat happens to be on the opposite side of Briar Road. After he bought the used books, the route the defendant took back to his flat would have been this one.
Map of the scene has been updated. Well, there you go. I've got two pieces of evidence that contradict each other. How do I present them together? Curse of Monkey Island, just smash them together.
Undoubtedly, if he took this route back to his flat from the used bookshop, then he most certainly would have passed by the crime scene.
Naruhodo, the inspector's testimony just now was incredibly important.
I know, Susato. I read the receipt. Yeah, I agree. Contradictions! It's like that's how you play Ace Attorney. The name of the bookshop. Inspector Gregson, can I make a request?
I don't know, can you?
Rude? Would you please add the name of the used bookshop to your testimony? I have a feeling that this could be extremely important information. You gotta say it with more confidence, man. It definitely is. Let's just skip to the chase. You know what the contradiction is.
You have a feeling?
Yeah, I'm hooked on it. I'm high on believing. Oh, no, I mean it. It might be a vital clue.
It might.
But it might totally, 100% be a vital clue.
You're not very confident.
I know.
Very well, although I don't see the importance myself. Witness, we request you amend your testimony to include the name of the used bookshop.
Oh, with pleasure. Fluff.
You like that expression? Pretty cute. Very British.
Oh, fluffing crumpets.
I'm pretty sure nobody says that. He doesn't sound too pleased to me. He doesn't. It appears the defendant is a regular patron of the bookshop called the Ragged Reader. However... Higiati! First objection of the case. Feels good. Hold it, Inspector Gregson.
What is it? I'm busy, you know.
Are you allowed to eat in court? I just remembered you have your fish and chips, even though I called you Inspector Fish and Chips. It's about a receipt we found in Soseki's room. The receipt is from a used bookshop. It was printed on the day of the crime, and it notes that he purchased 3 books. Inspector passive-aggressive. Hey now, he's just doing his job. His job is to be mean to the defense attorney. That's how they all are in Ace Attorney.
You found this in the defendant's room?
The problem is the name of the used bookshop.
What is the meaning of this?
It says that it was printed at a shop called Tattered Tales Book Emporium.
The Tattered Tales?
While it is true that Soseki purchased used books on the day of the crime, he did not visit the Ragged Reader.
Oh, what on earth?
Do a bit of research, man.
Inspector Gregson, tell us more about this Tattered Tales Book Emporium.
We allow a lot of things in court, apparently. Whips, katanas, Has anyone brought a gun into court? You know what? Yes. Letrod did. Letrod brought a grenade launcher into court. I've seen everything in Ace Attorney now. Everything.
Sir, as it turns out, there is one more used bookshop near the Ragged Reader. But you see, it's such a small bookshop that we didn't think the defendant would go anywhere near it.
Hey, it's your job to have due diligence, man. But in reality, he did. And this receipt proves it.
And what is the point of this? No matter where he purchased his decrepit, moldy tomes, the conclusion remains constant.
Not unless the bookshop is in a different location. What are you talking about? Surely, this changes everything. I hope. So, Naruhodo, here's a map. Thank you. Look right here. This one. No, this one. I think this is my favorite animation. Naruhodo's not sure what piece of evidence he's supposed to be looking at. He sounds so confident. It's all a bluff. Everything in Ace Attorney is. If the defendant had shot at the ragged reader, then yes, he would have passed through the crime scene on his way home. But if he had been at the Tattered Tales instead, please tell me it's on the other side of the road, then it's possible that he didn't walk that way. Oh,
Is that so?
Well, depending on where that used bookshop is, maybe.
Is this true, Mr. Matani?
yes, though right now it's only a possibility. Perfect logic. Possibilities, ifs. My entire arguments are built upon them. The best ones in these games are,
Inspector, where is Tattered Tales Book Emporium?
Well, you see, let me take a look.
other side, come on.
Tattered Tales would be...
Oh, even farther. I like that much better. Although he might have passed the same way, though.
right around here. It's on the east corner of this block.
Map of the scene has been updated in the court record. Well, how about that? As you can clearly see, this isn't very different. Whoops. Sorry, Naruhodo. I think there's still the possibility. It's still highly probable he passed through the same route. Alright, we're on grail number, what, 7?
It would seem that our exchange student is more of a clown than we once thought.
You predicted the clown meme, huh? Clown at his computer. That's Naruhodo.
You never fail to make me laugh. Ha, ha, ha. That's how I laugh. Don't make fun of me.
And he says that without the slightest trace of a smile on his face.
Well, I probably don't have to say this. But even if the defendant was at Tattered Tales, he would have definitely passed through the crime scene anyway.
If there was a way to prove that he went the other way. I don't know what, though.
Indeed, as we can clearly see.
No. Enjoying your wine. I'm enjoying something. I'm enjoying a swift kick to my butt.
I'll say it once more for you, Japanese exchange student.
He's got to have like a whole row of them behind him underneath the counter, doesn't he? That's the only explanation.
No matter where he purchased the decrepit moldy tomes, the conclusion remains constant.
Uh-oh.
I knew it all along, and you thought you could fool us. Not like this.
My argument.
I've already done said it. We've got enough proof.
Sorry. Could I get you to repeat that?
Naruhodo, now is the time to stand firm.
Susato.
If you keep quiet and let the prosecution's assertions become accepted as fact,
Then the jury's gonna make their verdict right away. This is different from the other court cases. You can't just stall for time. You actually have to convince them as it goes.
then all the jurors may make up their minds based on that.
No! She's right.
You should carefully rethink the prosecution's claim.
Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't come to a conclusion already. On the way back from Tattered Tales, would he have had to go through the crime scene? Object, always. There is a fatal flaw in the prosecution's argument.
Ah. Is this another one of your bluffs?
Yes.
Explain yourself, defense.
Oh, that's it. My answer is right here. Yeah. When he was on his way home from Tattered Tales, if he were to take this route, he'd cross through the crime scene. Is he gonna say that since he didn't, he went the other way? But roads often branch off. If he continued walking along this route, look! He would have been able to reach his flat without ever crossing through the crime scene. Aha! Revelation!
Naruhodo, that was extremely obvious. You just denied it. You just denied the path he took. Where's the evidence?
This logic's full of holes.
Trying to argue with a poor clown's rubbish musing is boorish at best, but it is my duty. Most people would call that a very roundabout way of walking home.
Yes. As in the band, yes.
Remember that we're in the dead of winter. Why would one choose such a long detour?
Maybe there were snow banks? Maybe the road was snowed off? Well, you see... Oh, no.
The answer couldn't be any more obvious. You wouldn't take the long road home. Our criminal took the simpler route home, and his knife took the simpler way into her back.
Where's the evidence? But you have to understand, because, oh, I got it now. This is the worst lying I've ever seen in an Ace Attorney. Naruhodo, please. How can you accuse him of that when you haven't even asked him? I'm so obviously grasping at straws. Oh, he's panicking so badly. Work on your acting, Naruhodo. Van Zeeks has the biggest vocabulary. Maybe he's trying to confuse Naruhodo.
If that's your answer, then I'm sure you must have asked him already. And his answer, I'm sure, was simply, I don't remember.
The worst bluffing of all time. Any game.
The defendant said he's always wandering aimlessly through the city, lost in thought. He claims that he was wandering home as always, so he doesn't remember clearly.
Come on. Oh, give me something to work with. Poor Naruhodo. This is the most futile trial in any of these games that I've ever encountered.
That's enough.
All right, guilty verdict. We lost. Something, anything, please.
I don't think we want or need any more aimless arguments in this court. What would your opinions be, wise citizens of the jury?
But even if he did take that route, as his attorney, if I could just... yeah, okay. Looks like the entire jury is against me.
Regarding Lord Van Zeeks' statement just now, we 6 jurors unanimously agree.
What?
This can't be happening.
Oh,
Rip. As of now, we have come to one firm, unshakable conclusion.
Very well. Now, 6 jurors, the time has come. You've made your deliberations. Present your verdict to the court.
shortest trial ever.
Yuzai.
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 Easy!
Crap. Oh, no.
It seems the jury has reached a unanimous conclusion.
Rip.
Our sage citizen jurors and their brave resolve are the pride of the great British Empire.
Naruhodo! Has there ever been a more pathetic trial?
I'm not done yet. It's not over yet, Snake. This still isn't over. This is my final chance to persuade the jurors. I have to tip those huge scales. It's time for a grand turnabout. With what argument? What do I have? No matter what it takes, I have to do this.
The fire in your eyes tells me that you have yet to concede defeat. Don't tell me you plan to parade your rights around this courtroom again. Your so-called right forgotten in some dark, moldy corner of the British legal code.
This guy really loves the mold. Maybe I should introduce him to Toad. No matter how much you complain about it, every attorney has the right to call for a closing argument, and I'm doing just that. Where'd he get that other bottle of wine? Where does Godot get all his coffee? Same place. Actually, Godot gets his coffee from a portal into the past. We're in the same place where Vanzi keeps all his wine. Don't ask me why they keep coffee in a wine cellar. It's a mystery to me too.
Then, from this point forth, in accordance with the rights prescribed by our legal code, the closing argument will now begin. Jurors, are you prepared?
You should know the answer to that already, my lord. That attorney doesn't know when to give up. We all know that.
Very well then. 6 jurors. State your reason and basis behind your guilty verdict.
This is around the time when somebody busts in the door with new evidence. Or the jury argument? I guess so.
The mysterious chap has already said it himself. The murderous chap.
A lady in a green coat just fell over. Who else but the victim could that be?
There's no reason he would have taken such a long route home from the bookshop.
So basically, that guy just stabbed her right in the back. Oh, so scary. Look, I don't even care. Just get this over with. I'm ready for the verdict.
Tattered Tales Book Emporium is a great shop. The Ragged Reader, not so much.
The old guy. You're the only one that said anything related to the evidence. I'm counting on you.
Huh.
Those last two aren't reason at all.
With some small exceptions, the reasons behind their guilty verdicts are clear.
When the incident occurred, only the accused and the victim were present. Besides, the accused said it himself. He has admitted that he saw the fallen woman in the green coat.
Furthermore, the defendant fled from the scene right after. It certainly sounds like enough basis for a guilty verdict to me.
Can I pay you to say it's not? I'll have you know I'm owned 100 pence from McGundle. What's that? 1,000 pence? 1,000 somethings. Even the judge agrees with their findings. Not pence. What's 1,000 something? A lot of money. Why did you have to run away from the scene, Soseki? And seriously, an invisible criminal? Not even I can believe that.
You got hit by a smooth criminal.
See if you can walk a mile in my shoes.
Naruhodo, now isn't the time to cry over spilled milk. There's only one way for you to continue this trial.
Yeah, I know. I have to turn their verdict on its head. Didn't I take 0 money? The judge doesn't know that. I need to convince at least 4 jurors.
Yes, that's correct. Let's try to be positive now.
In the face of absolute loss? Is this loss? This feels like loss.
Now, attorney, begin your closing argument.
Yes, sir.
Nah.
I have to keep this trial moving, no matter what. Stop at nothing, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. My life depends on it. Not really my life. Ready for the best animation in the entire game? The defense's rebuttal.
The murderous chap already said it himself.
Said what? Hold it! Excuse me, but weren't you... Oh, we're gonna... He does recognize him after all, Mr. Fairplay.
Yeah, so sorry for the trouble during the trial 2 days ago.
I knew it. I thought I recognized you from somewhere. So if I recall, you were a banker from the city?
Yes, that's right. You were indeed correct.
Apparently, the entire city of London only has like a population of 15.
Oscar Fairplay, and I've had to put up with a lot of trouble thanks to you.
Huh?
It was all because of that trial the other day. Don't tell me you forgot. You treated me and the young hatter like criminals.
I'm just trying to find the truth. I did?
Now there are rumors floating around about me, and the police won't leave me alone.
I had no idea. I'm really sorry. The jurors are supposedly random, selected, with an even distribution from the populace.
Nope.
It's whoever they were bothered to model.
Well, whatever the hatter's case may be, any suspicion about me has been cleared up. Now I'm free to declare anyone I want guilty. And right now you look pretty guilty, attorney.
That sounds nice, I guess. I have a feeling it's gonna be tough to change this guy's verdict. I'm worried about poor Mr. Lady First. How do you think he's doing? Probably getting all the ladies.
A lady in a green coat just fell over. Who else but the victim could that be?
Susato. You have a green coat, right?
No, I don't.
Just go with me here. It's a perjury. This ain't Danganronpa. I suppose that's true. The defendant said that when the incident occurred. He saw a person walking ahead of him, wearing a green coat.
See? That's right. That person was clearly the victim, isn't it obvious? And that means that the shady Japanese with the mustache must be the culprit.
But the defendant says he didn't stab her. I did not stab her.
Of course he says that. If he admits to the crime, it's all over for him. Oh, she just happened to fall down in front of me. That's just a lame excuse.
If he was gonna make up an excuse, I'm sure he could come up with something better.
I should think as much of people like you dirty Japanese.
Can we not do this right now? I think I preferred dealing with Miyu in the last trial of Danganronpa more than this. Maybe not. Come on, lady, don't just lump us all together. Rude.
Anyway, the culprit said it. Plain as day. There was no one else on the scene. In other words, no one else could have committed the crime.
Ugh. Wendy likes Juror 2's lips. Hold on, maybe I'll talk more like her if I just have a mouth as small as hers.
And if no one else was there, then there's no question over who the culprit must be.
Indeed, your argument is quite compelling in its simplicity.
Thank you ever so much for your kind words.
She's got me there. Oh no. Oh, that's 2. I guess we gotta convince everyone else. You think the orange one would be the most rude due to his reason? Kind of. There's no reason that he would have taken such a long route home from the bookshop. There's a reason, I just haven't found it yet. No matter what the reason might be, you can't deny that the long way is a viable route.
Yeah, I guess it's on the map. Calabash Road, was it?
Right. That's the one.
But still, what's important is whether he took that road or not, right?
Well, I suppose so.
Due to that, we arrive at the fact that there is no evidence he went that way, right?
I'm sure it's somewhere. I suppose that's true. Yes?
On top of all that, the defendant says that he doesn't remember where he walked, right?
Now that you mention it, yes, he did. Who's leading the cross-examination here? Witness, juror, please stop badgering the attorney.
Winter nights are cold and dark. You'd want to get home as quick as possible, right?
I'm inclined to agree.
Therefore, it stands to reason that he will walk around Blair Road to get home.
Ah, he convinced me more than I convinced him. Naruto, don't falter. Hold up, isn't that the maidwife lady? Hammy, have you been paying attention? Yes, I said as much. Miss Garradab. Deb, not Deb.
Listen, it's not like I'm just rushing to a guilty verdict or anything. I just need a concrete reason why the defendant would have taken Calabash Road. If you lay it all out for me, I might just reconsider.
Why might Soseki have taken the long way home?
If we're going to convince him to change his verdict, we'll have to argue logically.
And for once someone is actually considering all the evidence, there just isn't any. I think I like Juror 3. He's the most sensible juror or witness or anything I've ever seen in an Ace Attorney. This isn't going very well. Hammy thinks it's illegal for her to be on the jury. We don't know if well, first of all, we don't know who the witness is. I'm guessing it's her husband, and if so, then it probably should be illegal. But we don't know that.
So basically, the guy just stabbed her right in the back. Oh, so scary. What is it, sir?
Aren't you that landlord's wife?
That's the secret that's out of the bag. You mean her maid, his maid? The one from... Oop. Oh yeah, she's gonna deny it right now. The one from the defendant's flat.
My goodness, the very thought that I would be his wife. I'm but a lowly maid.
She's still on the charade, even in court. Especially in court, you're in public now. Naruto, please. His livelihood's on the line, his reputation. Why didn't you say anything about this yesterday? That you had jury duty? We had no idea that you were selected to be a juror for this trial.
You aren't allowed to mention jury duty to anyone until the day of the trial.
That's not how it is in America.
It was written in the juror's guidelines, so I simply had to abide by it.
The defendant, Soseki, is renting a flat in your home, correct? Yeah, impartial jury, huh?
That's perjury, though.
Is that perjury? I think that's just when you lie. Oh, lying about being her wife. It's not relevant to the case, I think.
That's correct, but he's only been here for about a week.
You live under the same roof as him every day, so you must know his character. Only for a week, and you already know his routine down to a T. Are you sure you're not stalking him? Does he look like the kind of a man to commit a crime?
Yes, well, I can't say he doesn't.
What?
Just look at him. He holes up in his room all day and he has a suspicious mustache. His eyes keep darting about. He doesn't talk properly, and people gossip about him. People are saying things like he could be making bombs in there for all we know.
That's just a rumor.
Oh, that's awful. How could they talk about him like that? He's just a harmless bookworm who wouldn't hurt a fly.
I can't imagine what that must feel like. Having the maid talk might be more dangerous than I thought. I don't know. It's getting hard to pick 4 jurors to convince. I've already found 3 that I feel like are pretty hopeless.
Look, I don't even care. just get this over with. I'm ready for the verdict.
All right, Orange Man. If you don't care, how about you, how about I convince you that voting the other way helps make the trial go faster? What's with your attitude? A man's life is on the line here.
Shut it. If I don't get to work pronto, it'll be my life on the line.
Shouldn't you get the day off because you're in jury?
A fancy pants lawyer like you wouldn't get it, but I do manual labor, and I get paid by the day. If I take so much as one day off, I won't be able to feed my wife and kid. Got it?
Yeah, that sounds tough.
Every day I show up at the guild and they give me a job. First come, first serve. Lately, all the underground water and gas pipes have been rupturing, see? I paid peanuts to work morning till night, digging up roads and fixing pipes.
Then, does that mean you were digging on the day of the crime as well?
Of course I was. Come to think of it. On that day, I was working in the neighborhood where that musty old bookshop is.
Eh? Construction on the road? Did the road you were constructing on happen to be? Did it have to be, what was it, Mearsham? I bet it was. What? Could this be it?
Yeah, let me think. Mearsham Road was the name, I think.
Hey. That's the one, Mearsham Road. That's one of the roads on this map. Juror 5, please change your judicial finding to that statement.
How about you just wrap up this little game instead?
Please, I'm begging you. He's ready to box. He's ready to punch us out.
Fine, I'll do it.
Oh, thank goodness, he reconsidered.
I was digging up Mearsham Road all day when that lady got stabbed.
I can present evidence. Oh, I know I can't. That's not how this works. Although it does contradict. Oh, here we go. There's a clash here. There's a reason why he wouldn't have taken that route. Gotcha. Finally an opening. There was a clear contradiction between these two statements.
What contradiction? Explain yourself.
Hey, why is he pointing at me?
Whoa, what now? Hurry up and get this over with.
Even his shocked expression is a flex. Beefy man. Juror 3, might I have a word with you?
Oh, sure. What is it?
Ooh. This pacing, though. There is an important fact in Juror 5's statement. Here, let's compare what was said with the map. On the day of the crime, Soseki bought books at this used bookshop. Now, on this day, Mearsham Road was being dug up due to construction. In other words, the defendant would not have been able to travel this road to return home. Hold on, don't get ahead of yourself, Naruhodo. The juror said nothing about that specific point in the road being dug up. But let's just go with it. Brad, what's up? He's the buff man from Dark Souls. He's buff from playing Dark Souls. How you doing, Brad? Soseki! Oh, here we go. Tell me if I'm doing a good Soseki voice.
That will show them! I am innocent! I did not stab her! I did not!
I don't remember what you did, man. The defendant would not have been able to travel this road to return home.
Oh, right. You're right. What do you say to that, Juror 5?
What? Well, I guess he's right. So the bricks in the road were smashed and the road was dug up at about 2 yards across. Those hoity-toity ladies and gentlemen took the long way around instead.
And there you have it. My opening. That means, in order to get back to his flat, the defendant would have been forced to take the long way.
So it would seem.
Does it really?
Juror 3, you said the following. There's no reason he would have taken such a long route home. But now you see, we have just established that he had ample reason to do so.
You're right! My lord, may I have a word?
Yes, what is it?
Perhaps I have been a bit hasty in my decision. I think that we should continue this trial a little longer.
Ooh. Step 1 in our grand turnabout.
What are you waiting for, Jibber 5?
Oh, me. Fine then. I dug up this hole and I'm gonna fill it.
And that means we're gonna dig up Van Zeeks' grave. Well, actually, that doesn't make sense. We're not killing him. Hopefully not. Who's the real assailant? Not murderer. I don't even know if we've met them. What if it was Sherlock? I can't believe that worked. Grasping at straws. Hey, it's as if Sherlock himself was here saying whatever is improbable, whatever's left, however improbable, must be the truth. He had to have taken a different route. You don't know how foolproof the logic is. We're going with it still. The benefit of the jury system is logic can be a little fuzzy. Just a little bit. The jurors meatwad.
Oh, I did not even realize that he was meatwad.
Yeah. What is a British meat? Meat and potatoes. Meat and potato wad. Van Zeeks might be a little mad about me turning the verdict again. I'm surprised he hasn't butted in. This is the least interjectory prosecutor in the entire series, I feel. I kind of sometimes forget he's there. You did it, Naruto! That was incredible! The decisions have changed, and with that, the whole situation is turned around. Yes, now all of the jurors will have to reconsider their stances. It's extremely important that they really think about whether they feel their verdict is just. And one more thing. If there are any more clues that could clear up the suspicion around Soseki, then you can use this momentum to overturn the verdict. Right. I'll give it a try. Prosecutor Van Zeeks is trying to bring this trial to a hasty end. I'll do whatever it takes to keep that from happening.
Now, defense, resume your closing argument.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
I feel like in comparison to the other prosecutors, Van Zeeks has actually a real reason to make the trial go as fast as possible. It's because persuading the jury is the best way to get a verdict. They're so emotional. In the other games, it's like, oh, I'm the prosecutor, I'm hiding evidence. I hope I end the trial before the defense finds it out. No way, this is different. It's not like Van Zeeks is evil or anything, he's just doing his job. Alright, so, we got one more question for Santa Claus, huh? What's wrong with Ragged Bookstore? Ragged Reader.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time?
I said,
Mata!
all I said was,
Mata!
do you often visit Tattered Tales Book Emporium?
I go there to browse old books, and then I read them at home while I sip old tea. It's as old as I am.
That's pretty old. Yeah, that would taste terrible.
That's my life. That day was no different.
On the day of the incident, do you remember what time you went to Tattered Tales?
I was looking at books all afternoon, then I left the shop a little before 5 o'clock. That's my life. That day was no different.
Oh, such a humble, quaint old man. Oh, Brad's going. Well, have a good night. Have a good night, Brad. I'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. Van Zeeks is more about justice than anything. He's just trying to convict the guilty, who he believes to be guilty. Sort of like the opposite of Phoenix. Besides the investigation games, I'm sure a lot of people would have liked to see a game where you play as a prosecutor in these trials. It doesn't quite work Because in Ace Attorney games, you kind of already play prosecutor by trying to convict the real murderer. This would just be the same thing, but the other way around. You just try to convict the murderer right away instead of after turning things around. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's right, when she was stabbed. Edgeworth's game is kind of like that. Yeah, that's why I said, like, besides the investigations, because those don't have actual trials. I'm pretty sure that's why they don't have actual trials. Or else it really wouldn't make sense. You would just play a one-sided trial where you're like, this guy is guilty. Judge is like, you're right. And then he's guilty. Are you absolutely sure that you had the right time?
Sure, I'm sure. I remember it like it was 3 days ago.
But it was sooner than that. It was 2 days ago.
At any rate, I had a really tough time that day.
What do you mean? Maybe it was 3 days. I don't know how to count.
A narrow footpath on Calabash Road was frozen over. The snow had only just stopped falling on the pavement, and I fell smack onto the ground. I was knocked out cold. I thought I saw the Holy Mother beckoning me.
So we have the end testifying. Wait a week and we'll have one less juror. Oh no, that's terrible. I don't want that. We need his verdict to change. Hold on a second. Did you say Calabash Road?
Yep. My house is on Cornpipe, see? That narrow little footpath is the quickest way home from Tattered Tales.
Oh, hey! So that's double reason for Soseki to have gone through there. Juror 6, that statement might be important. I don't know what happened to his voice. He kind of started turning into Morgan Freeman. Change your judicial finding to that statement, please.
Ah, sorry, Sonny. Could you say that again?
I said it as loud as I could. Naruhodo, 2 jurors have changed their verdicts. Yeah. Now all we need is to convince 2 more, right? Just like before, strike with all your might and turn them on their heads. Maybe I should have her teach me the Suzato toss for this one. Naruhodo toss? Where's that counter?
The murderous chap has already said it himself.
No, well, let's see. That's still the same kind of argument, that he could have taken another path. That evening he fell on Calabash Road, he conked out right there. But that guy just stabbed her in the back, so scary. A lady in a green coat just fell over. Wait a minute. Is his coat green? This is important. I'm colorblind. I'm going to assume that you might have thought he was a lady. That looks very green. Well, I guess this is the argument I'm presenting. A lady in a green coat just fell over. It's a possibility. I guess. Sorry, sir. He mistook you for a lady. There was a clear contradiction between these 2 statements.
What contradiction? Explain yourself.
Excuse me. Juror 2 and Juror 6!
Oh, yes, what is it?
Did he hear me or no?
I don't think the elderly gentleman heard you.
I yelled it though. Kelvin, what's up? How you doing? Having a good night, I hope. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a good dinner. Please eat before you go to bed. It's very important. Seriously? I put everything I had into that shout. You gotta give it the old iron cords.
Objection!
Cords of steel. Anyway, one fact has become abundantly clear. As shown on the receipt from the used bookshop, the defendant bought books from Tattered Tales and walked home from there.
Didn't he say that he couldn't remember what road he took home that day?
Yes, so it would seem. But on the way home, the defendant did see one person. And it was an old man, apparently. Hey, you know what? This argument has no water, but I'm going with it because it's possible. It's a little round old man. Green. Fits the description. A person wearing a green coat suddenly fell flat in the snow on the footpath.
Right, and the person must have been the woman who was stabbed.
Nope. But is that really the right conclusion?
What are you on about?
Objection! Were you listening to what Juror 6, the old man over there, just said? On the night of the incident, Verdi and Green wasn't the only one. There was another person wearing a green coat who fell on the pavement. And we're just going to assume that he was wearing the same coat he's wearing today. What is this argument? It's pure, unadulterated bluffing, that's what. Naruhodo style.
Oh,
You don't mean to imply.
I do. That person was our hearing impaired sixth juror. Under no grounds whatsoever. Yeah, Kelvin saw Avengers today? Ah. Well, I hope you enjoyed sitting for 3 hours. I recommend walking around because I know after watching that movie, I just needed to take a walk. I just needed to get out there. My legs were dead. It's close enough. Just let it happen.
then that means
If it works, it works.
the person in the green coat that the defendant really saw was that jaunty old man in green.
Yeah, Green Santa. I would say that it's highly probable. After all, that old man has a similar body shape to the victim. You didn't have to add that, Naruhodo. It's fine.
Oh.
What in the world?
What was that? Could you speak a little louder? Anyway, what's important here is just gonna completely ignore the sixth juror at this point. That's so sad. He's an old man. Give him some patience. The location where the old man fell.
Calabash Road.
Highly probable. Not a word you would use. If the person who fell in front of the defendant was really that old man, then that would mean that Soseki must have taken the long way home. And there's one natural conclusion to come from that. There's no way that he could have passed through the scene of the crime.
Oi, old man. What were you doing bumbling around a place like that?
What's more, you just had to wear the confusing green coat.
What's the big deal? Are you saying an old man like me can't bumble around town and slip on a few roads?
No, that's not his voice.
Are you saying an old man like me can't bubble around town and slip on a few roads? And I can't dress myself up in the latest and trendy dapper coats?
Pardon me, my lord.
I don't suppose you wish to revise your verdict. Also, Juror 6, why do you sound like me now? All old men with beards sound the same, don't you know? Well, yes, but wait, who is even talking right now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure either.
I do. I'm changing my verdict to not guilty.
Yes, please. Juror 2.
Then I am too.
Huh? What does Van Zeeks have to say to this? Apparently, again, nothing.
Even if it's just because I want to try turning the tables too.
Oh, adorable. He just wants to participate. He doesn't know why we're here at all, does he?
Actually, in fact, I've forgotten. What is my name? What are we doing here? I'll be having a tea party. The jury's verdict has changed as a result of the defense's closing argument. And I think my voice needs to change as a result of Juror 6 having the same voice. The jury's verdict has changed. Now, 2 vote guilty and 4 vote not guilty. Thus, the court acknowledges that the jury's vote is split and orders you all to continue the trial.
He's just senile. He's so senile he forgets his own voice. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble finding good voices for these characters. I'm fine with like Danganronpa. I guess Ace Attorney just has loads and loads of characters. We've had more than 15. How impudent of me to tip this holy grail after raising an objection in these halls of justice. And then go on to shatter it to pieces. I plead your forgiveness. How many forgivenesses can he plead at this point? Prosecutor Van Zeeks? Time for Shay to go to bed. Well, thanks for hanging around. Have a good night, Shay. I'll catch you later. It's always nice to see you. I suppose I must revoke my earlier words. What are you talking about? I actually don't plead forgiveness. I want to shatter glasses. It's fun to me. Ha ha ha. The jurors lined up over there cannot be called wise by any stretch of the imagination. How can they be wise when they have fallen so readily for a Jap's cheap deceptions? There's that word again. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Objection! What deception? Everything I said was fact! No, everything you said was pure conjecture. On the day of the crime, that large man was repairing the road, correct? Oh, are we gonna prove whether or not he was actually impeding foot traffic? According to him, a 2-yard wide section of road had been removed for construction.
Damn right, I worked myself to the bone that day, and I only got 5 shillings for it.
That'll buy you about 7 used books, apparently.
So, Japanese exchange student, do you know roughly how long 2 yards would be? 6 feet?
That's only the length of a person, I guess. Oh, he doesn't know the system. The imperial system. Well, I'd say... To be honest, I have no clue. Oof. It seems that 2 yards is just under the length of 2 meters. Just under 2 meters? That's shorter than I thought. So the road wasn't blocked off. There was still no reason for Sasaki to have gone that way. Uh-oh. Zeeks, you gotta stop shattering holy grails. There's only supposed to be one of those. Yeah, how do you think there is only one of those left? He shattered every one until one remained. And Monty Python got a hold of it, and then you know how it went from there.
There's but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off! As such, one would be able to leap across the missing road. Does the man himself disagree?
Nah, that sounds about right.
What? And during construction, did you seal off the road in order to prevent passage?
No, of course we didn't. With a hole in the road this big, all the stuck-up ladies and gents would just take a detour. But the inner-city kids wouldn't give a hoot. They'd just jump over it.
As far as I can see, the defendant is neither lady nor gentleman. They are... Please don't say... Okay. Thought he was gonna be discriminatory. No, well, he's just poop. And that's what he is. It's natural to assume that he could make a 2-yard leap to return home. Is that true? I thought... never mind. Don't mind me. And remember, the defendant dropped his books at the crime scene. There is absolutely no doubt that he passed through Briar Road on his way home. He's got a point. Was the race stuff added by the translating team? I feel like that would be an odd thing. It could just be a more or less what the original dialogue was connotating, I guess, kind of thing. that was not a good word to use back then. Alright, well.
And you, old man.
Oh, me?
Oh, look at his eyes. So beady. I wouldn't mind for that to be my grandpa.
On the day of the crime, around 5 o'clock, you had fallen over on Calabash Road. At the time, did you notice any suspicious Japanese figures behind you?
Oh, maybe.
Well, who knows? I can't say I remember.
You don't remember?
Feel free to bet it all on this argument, attorney. Do you think the person the defendant saw was this old man? You have no way of proving it.
Do I not? Evidence, the evidence. Feature this pocket knife photograph. I got nothing. This is bad. People that Hammy Hammy can't jump 6 feet. I'm pretty sure I could. Not easily, but I could. Your sense of distance is kind of messed up. that's not very far.
Do you think the person the defendant saw was this old man? You have no way of proving it. Ah!
It's been years since you did the long jump. I can tell.
Order! Order! Serve Hansiks, if I may.
What is it, my lord?
If you had such a persuasive even, why did you stand and watch in silence during the closing argument?
I just wanted a good laugh. It was amusing to me. Ah. See, I told you I laughed like that. Obviously, our beloved exchange student is still seeing the sights. What would be more fitting than the sight of how fickle the jurors' hearts can be?
Why are you so mean to me, Fanzeeks? I'm just trying to be a good attorney, man.
But I suppose that's enough hospitality.
The cape is off. Now let's take bets. How long till he slams his foot onto the desk?
This is the end of your London sightseeing for today, attorney.
Ooh, what are you saying now?
My lord, the prosecution requests that the next witnesses be brought to the stand.
Hey, at least we get the other witnesses in. Finally.
Of course, bailiff. Bring the witnesses into the courtroom.
The next witnesses?
Naruhodo, we've heard about a witness to the crime a few times now.
Yeah, I think they said it was an officer from Scotland Yard. Roly Moly? Roly Poly Oly? That was his name, right? Rollo O'Malley. Yeah, Roly Poly.
One of those next witnesses must be that officer.
So what does O'Malley look like, I wonder? No matter who the witness, no matter what the testimony, I will continue to believe in you, Soseki. I'll keep believing you until the very end of this battle. I'll keep believing you until the very end of this battle. Until the day I die. Wait, not that extreme. Hello? What? Sir, that is a child? That's not a real officer? Excuse me?
Go on, witnesses. Your names and occupations.
Look! The clothes are too big for him. He's asleep as well. What?
The name's Patrick O'Malley. I'm a patrolman on the city beat.
Is he even an adult? Young adult, maybe.
And I'm Rona O'Malley, the wife of our city's great hero.
These are not children? They look like kids to me. I guess they're just very youthful. Egg on my face. 23 and 21. Wow, these two found the fountain of youth. Why are their faces so babyish? How old are they? Apparently this old. They can drink. 20s? They're married. overly passionate constable of London, witnessed the incident along with his wife Rolla. Appears to be very proud of her husband's status as a constable. Pat? Is everything alright? Wake up! Grab a brush and put a little makeup.
Absolutely. You see, the two of us were just married. Just the other day, we had our first wedding anniversary.
Oh. Yeah, sleepy boy. Oh, no, not that. Sorry, I meant your husband. Saiban, what's up? What the heck kind of creature is that? Like a human being? I'm not sure who you're referring to. A constable man? In Japan, 18-year-olds look 12 after all. Apparently this is where they got it from. 19th century England. Patrolla. Was that the pun in the original game? I am so intrigued now. Did the Japanese Ace Attorney team have to come up with English puns for this, just for this game? Did they consult the localization team or what?
His exhaustion is understandable. Being a constable of London is one of the most noble, yet demanding duties in the world.
Patrolla. This is the second time they did a patrol pun? I don't remember the original games that much at all. Pat Roll. I don't remember anybody else named Pat Roll. I know Roll from Mega Man. How about that? Here we go. Brad emote. Beep. Is that so? I feel like I've heard this before. The translations team didn't change any of the names from Japanese. So actually, so it would have been Pato and Roda. Patrolla. Actually, the pun would actually be patroller, I think. Maybe not. There I go again with the maybe not. There's so many things I can only speculate. This is why I need to learn Japanese.
Apart from off-duty days, every day is spent patrolling 20 miles around the city on foot. Patrolling local establishments, collecting taxes, surveying roads, inspecting the scales. Cleaning the roads, filling the gas lamps, and extinguishing the lamps are all part of the job.
They sound more like caretakers than police officers.
Those are a lot of duties that seem unbefitting for the police. Rather than doze off, I'd probably collapse before long.
Of course, the constable's most vital duty is the pursuit and suppression of crime. Even if he's off duty, if a crime occurs in his beat, he must assist in the investigation. Such is the proud spirit of the London Constabulary.
Nothing gets past his eyes, nope. Clearly. He certainly seems tired, though. Ace Attorney 6's first case, the victim was Pat's Roll? Was it now? Oh, you know what? That sounds familiar. He was in Korean, though, so it was probably like a patrol with like a million apostrophes in it.
On the day of the crime, this couple was walking on the opposite side of Briar Road. It was at this point that they witnessed the incident. Is it correct so far, witnesses?
Yes, it is. Right, darling. Patrick O'Malley, patrolling on the city beats.
What is this accent? It's not Irish, that's for sure. I mean, I'm trying to be. I'm just not doing it. Ah, jeez.
Very well. The court orders the two of you to testify. Testify regarding what you witnessed on the evening of the crime.
Sir!
He just doesn't have enough dialogue lines for me to get his voice down. Top of the morning to you.
was our anniversary. We went out for dinner, still in uniform. As we were strolling along, we saw two figures coming down the opposite path. And all of a sudden, one of them fell over. The other dropped something and ran away. We hurried as fast as we could to the next police box to call for help. That Japanese man is the one who ran away. Pat and I both saw it with our own eyes.
Pat?
Now this is a decisive testimony.
No, it's not. It's the facts we already knew them. It's the fact as we already knew them, just reinstated. There's still no proof that it was, a knife, that it was him. Can you tell us what road you were on?
The officer's wife claims to have clearly seen Soseki's face. If what they say is the truth, then the possibility we presented in the closing argument would be outright disproven.
Indeed. After all, such an absurd possibility was non-existent to begin with.
This must have been quite the ordeal for your first anniversary.
It was, but I thank the Lord that we could have had a night out together in the first place. I suppose being a constable in London isn't an ordeal in and of itself.
Worry not. This testimony will soon be over, and then you will be able to spend the day at your leisure.
And what's that supposed to mean?
This lovely couple clearly saw the face of the man who fled the crime scene. And the face was that of none other than Soseki Natsume. I don't believe I need to remind you of the weight that London officers' words carry.
Even though it was the officer's wife who said every single word?
With that said, I suggest you prepare yourself, Defense.
Prepare yourself. Of course. Yeah. I'm ready. Just let me at him. Oh boy. What we witnessed. Okay, let me try to get the accent down. Top of the morning to you laddies. My name is okay. That's a different YouTuber altogether.
That night was our anniversary. We went out for dinner still in uniform. As we were strolling along, we saw two figures coming down the opposite path. And all of a sudden, one of them fell over. The other dropped something and ran away. We hurried as fast as we could to the nearest police box to call for help. That Japanese man is the one who ran away. Pat and I both saw it with our own eyes.
I want to somehow prove that they were on a different road than they thought they were. They weren't on Briar Road. Okay, maybe if I ask where they went for dinner, I can prove it on the map. Maybe his wife has enough power in her words as the officer. She did. The way she spoke kind of made it sound like they were both in uniform. Is she also on the police force? Pretty sure she's just the wife. I've not heard otherwise. Rolla O'Malley. All right. We were still in uniform? Then does that mean you were the police too? Oh, there we go. There's my question.
Nope. It's all a shame. But women, children, and the elderly can't be police in London.
Is it really a problem that children and the elderly aren't police? Hey, the first time I saw these two, I thought they were children. But what of Sherlock Holmes's ward or whoever? What is Iris's relationship to Sherlock? His roommate lives with Mr. Holmes. Well, okay then.
But the uniform looks so good on Pat, right, darling? Oh, yeah. At the time, I had just finished up for the day. So we were planning to stop by the station and change clothes before heading out again.
It's kind of scary how suddenly he started giving proper testimony. It's the first thing he said that actually had anything to do with the trial.
I would have been okay with you staying in uniform, though. When you change clothes, suddenly it's like I don't even know you.
So what, did you get married in a police outfit? I can only imagine. That would be quite the wedding suit. Sherlock's adopted daughter, possibly? Maybe after Watson died. Ugh. Rest in peace, John.
That was a very dangerous piece of testimony.
Anyway, you two are getting ready to go to dinner after he finished work.
Yeah, really. I was completely exhausted after a full day of patrolling. However, I swear, I am ready and willing to do whatever it takes to live up to this.
He keeps turning Italian, I can't stop it. What is that? What is that?
This is our secret police handbook, held only by the patrolmen of London. Inside we have the great things to do as a constable. A constable patrols the city, working tirelessly so that the citizenry may know peace. And that is why I never tire, even when I'm patrolling 20 miles a day.
Never tired. Never. Clearly, no.
If all it takes to help the people is to wander around the city, then by God, I will wander.
How many salutes was that per second? I think he set a record. I don't think you're supposed to wander. Again! This is just the ending of Metal Gear Solid 3. But marathon style.
I just wanted that one single day to be peaceful so we could celebrate our anniversary. I'm always leaving her alone because work is so busy. My poor beloved Rolla. Rolla, my love. Pat, my sweet. Oh, how lovely. Our love is so pure.
Hey, keep the PDAs out of this courtroom. PDAs haven't even been invented yet. Bad joke. It's a little annoying, too.
Well then, what happened while you were walking?
As we were strolling along, we saw two figures coming down the opposite path.
What was the name of the road? Tell me. You saw two people?
Yep. They were walking towards us on the footpath by Briar Road.
Okay. You got me. You said the name of the road. Can you prove it, though?
There was this big roly-poly person, and then behind the fatty there was a tiny little guy.
No filter. That's so rude. Newlyweds? Looks like it.
She must be talking about Soseki and the victim.
Yeah. The victim does look pretty plump.
Are you absolutely sure that nobody else was present on the footpaths?
Naruhodo is not impressed with love. But if he doesn't get together with Phoenix Wright's great-great-grandmother, then they'll create a time paradox. You gotta do it. You gotta force them together. Where's Marty McFly? He's good at these sort of time travel things. We're not even time traveling. This just happened in the past.
Yes, sir. It was getting dark out, so the gas lamps were lit. Fam. No one else was there. Right, darling? Right, darling? Right. There was a bit of fog, but Briar Road's footpaths are dead straight, so visibility was pretty high regardless. Since the gas lamps were lit, we wouldn't have missed
Answer this next question before you fall asleep again. Are you absolutely sure?
Absolutely sure, sir. As a constable on the watch for crime, I declare that I'm sure. My conviction is almost as strong as my love for Rolla.
You said that already.
Rolla, my love. Pat, my sweet.
All right, ignoring that. So the victim and the criminal were the only ones on Briar Road at the time. If they saw them, if they were so sure that the one behind was Soseki, then we have to prove that the big person in front was this juror number 6. My goodness, if he had not been chosen for jury duty, we would have lost by now. I guess that's the undeniable truth. Get this man some coffee. He needs to stay awake. Where's Godot when you need him? It certainly seems as though there was nowhere for the assailant to run to. Well, Soseki was able to get away, but then he got caught anyway. Well, if Godo's coffee is under the desk and is transported into the future, we have the infinite supply right here. We're ready. Just go reach under.
The situation just before the crime took place has been made absolutely clear. Now, what happened next?
Still not clear to me.
And all of a sudden, one of them fell over.
Well, this part doesn't seem too inconsistent. The other person dropped something? Could you explain?
Sure. At the time, I didn't know what exactly he had dropped. But when we got closer, we totally figured it out. Right, darling?
Ah, these two. What a beautiful relationship. Relationship goals for me.
Oh yeah. It was those old books.
Oh, all the books.
Yes, sir. Several books had fallen on the ground around the victim.
If I'm correct, this photograph confirms your testimony.
Totally. When that evil Japanese guy did the deed, he dropped them.
They're evil now? When did this happen? I object to the evil statement. You still haven't proven that I'm evil. I mean, that it was the defendant that you saw.
What, we saw him? There's no way that it wasn't him. Look at that mustache. That sad hunched back. That sunken face. Everything matches.
Mustache, sad hunchback, sunken face. Who do I know that might have that? The John Garadab? Hey, he has a knee injury. He walks with a hunch, I think. This cane. I don't know. Now, clearly it was Lord Chief Vortex. I'm pretty sure he's just throwing insults around at this point.
Yep. He looked down at the poor victim with the most horrifying expression. And suddenly he threw the books everywhere and ran off.
Really? This is bad. It doesn't look like she's lying.
There's not a shred of doubt in that testimony. It's no surprise coming from a police couple. Go on. Continue your testimony.
Whoa. Sir!
Insomnia. Is a police officer allowed to continue to be a police officer if they have insomnia? Get some rest. You need a vacation, man. Why is Vortex even in there? Just to confuse us, apparently. There's no reason.
Unless he's really the killer.
Run to the nearest police box.
But actually, it started fading away with this weird sound that sounded like...
I can't make a TARDIS sound. Dr. Ho, was your husband the one that ran to notify the police?
Nope, it was me. The proud policeman's life. And his life. Right, darling?
What? I'm surprised he's not choked by now.
Huh? Oh, yep. I asked her to do it. My shift may have been over for the day, but as a policeman at heart, I still have a duty to watch over the crime scene.
Indeed, preservation of crime scenes is an important part of a policeman's duty.
So instead, I had Rolla go for me. She notified the police in charge of the district.
Sorry, what do you mean by district? The entire area covered by this map, probably, maybe?
Depending on when a crime takes place, the investigation is assigned to a certain district. The footpath that the victim was on wasn't part of my beat.
The footpath that the victim was on. So, but, Can you tell me exactly where your jurisdiction starts and stops, sir? I think that's the key.
So I told my beloved Rolla where to find the police box so she could gather policemen.
What?
ran as fast as I could to the police box and got the attention of the police there. You could call this our loving teamwork. One of them was called the Doctor. It was an odd name for a police officer.
And thanks to your teamwork, the case was resolved quickly. You are exemplary citizens. Citizens.
Ah, you're making me blush. Right, darling?
Hey, don't get the hots for Van Zeeks now. You're married. Vortex better have some more importance in the next case. I'm curious as to his purpose as a character in this game, period. I guess he's the introduction to Europe, to London. But even so, what does he do besides give us trials? Maybe he's like the big bad after all, and he's giving us trials that he thinks we're going to lose. Oh no. This is a blind run. Please do not confirm if I'm right.
Oh yeah, Rolla's the best. Oh yeah there.
Canadian Irishman. Just keep testifying, please. And don't falling asleep. Alright, so the Japanese man, huh? Would you really be able to see his face that clearly was just gaslighting? What?
Back off, you! Don't you underestimate a Londoner's eyesight!
What now?
Lighting from a gas lamp is more than enough! Especially because that pesky fog was thinner than usual!
Uh-huh. The fog, go on.
London has become famous all over the world for its fog. But for us, it's hard to see as a good thing.
Because on days when it's especially foggy, you can hardly see your own hands.
Okay, I get it. Just let your husband go, please. You're gonna suffocate the poor fella.
Every day, our eyesight is tempered by the fog. We're absolutely sure that when we say it was the Japanese... We're absolutely sure when we say it was that Japanese guy over there. Right, darling? Right. Oh, yeah. It was definitely the defendant. Look at that mustache. That sad hunched back. That sunken face.
Everything matches. You said this already. Again. You're repeating yourself. Don't make me repeat myself. Well said, Bianchi Itagami. At the very least, we confirmed that these two are confident about their testimony. At the very least. The man they saw fleeing the scene was Soseki. Is that all that they have to say?
How are you feeling, Naruhodo?
I'm feeling that I should have seen more testimony by now. At least an additional statement coming about from the pressing. But that means my objection has to be something that's already out there. Well, my first impression on hearing the testimony is... bad. With the way that they testified, I'm not sure that we had that much room to argue. There's little doubt that they really did witness Soseki fleeing the scene.
I had the same thoughts.
But even if they did, what does that mean for us?
I suspect the jury would gladly vote guilty if that were the case.
No way. What am I supposed to do here?
At a time like this, Kazuma.
Oh. What would a Sogi do? Pull out your sword, start slashing everybody. That's how you solve all your problems. I don't actually know if Asogi knew how to use his sword. He had it, sure. I think they said he was on the kendo team or something, so probably. Maybe I imagined that.
I think he would search for contradictions in the finer parts of their testimony.
What finer parts?
If we keep badgering them about Soseki, things will only get worse. Instead, we want to search for any possible contradictions in their testimony. If we bring those contradictions to light, it will show that their memory is unreliable.
Wow. That's what I'm thinking. Where could it be?
The only way forward is to find some sort of contradiction in his testimony. Otherwise, it's very likely that the trial will be ending early today.
This is getting intense. I'm guessing they weren't on the road they thought they were. The only thing I could possibly prove is by his jurisdiction. If the map says that it actually should include Briar Road, it ends around here. That means we're on that means they were on Calabash Road. It's gotta be. Don't I remember Asogi slashing Ouchie's hair? Oh yeah, that's the only time he needed to use it. That's pretty good. Byakuya Tagami doesn't exist in this universe. As far as you know. My huge piles of money beg to differ. Now don't make me repeat myself.
Excuse me, Mr. Attorney. Could I ask you something?
What? Yeah, sure, what's up? Yes, ma'am. What is it?
You've been badgering us about all these little details. And I bet you think we're liars, don't you? Well, my husband here is gonna knock you out.
What? No way. I swear, I don't.
A 1 and a 2. Oh.
What's with everybody trying to punch me in this game?
I am a policeman's wife, and I'm telling you, I saw everything. For example, hey, you know all those filthy old books at the crime scene.
Can you name them all? Hey. It seems like your only way out is if these are different. They probably will be. Even Sherlock wants to knock me out. They just practice so much pugilism over in London.
I remember every single one of the names of those books.
Please, by all means, let me know.
But you're just going to apprehend me anyway.
No, there's no need to yell.
Yes, there is. That stupid Asian doesn't know what his wife is capable of.
Who you call him stupid? Discrimination.
And even if I let it pass, Pat would take him down in an instant. Look at this. You cannot deal with this 100% beefcake. Just look at the size of his arms.
Look, I'm sorry. Just let him go, please. There's no need to use your husband as a puppet in order to box me out.
Our brave witness is permitted to add this statement to our testimony. Now, will that please you, madame?
Thank goodness, we got something. Your poor husband's neck. He almost fell over. Please, watch him.
Yeah, let me say it over and over. Right, darling?
That was me actually yawning. Again, only 3 hours of sleep. It's fine.
I even remember the names of all 4 books the criminal dropped. Go on, try me.
4? Wait, that's already a contradiction. Never mind. 4 books, but they only said there were 3 at the crime scene. You can see that. Oh no. It's that problem again. I had this problem last night in Danganronpa. 2 pieces of evidence that point to the same contradictions. I'm not sure which one to present. Either I present the receipt saying he only bought 3 books, or I present the picture showing that there's only 3 books. You're right about the old books scattered around the scene. I need to get more sleep. No, I gotta stream. I gotta play games. Playing games is fun. You're right about the old books scattered around the scene.
Of course, these are the books that Soseki Natsume brought at the used bookshop. Bought, even.
After I got back from calling the police to the scene, I was really scared, but I made sure to investigate the scene. As a policeman's wife, I had to investigate in his place.
It feels like you're doing most of the police work here. In his place? Where was Pat at the time?
He was face down in the snow, dead asleep. I guess he was really tired.
Yeah, sure. Never tired, always on the beat. That's what Pat thinks. Oh, he must wake up not even realizing he ever fell asleep.
You're
always looking so hard, darling? Wasn't he supposed to be watching over the crime scene? So what you're saying is somebody probably tampered.
Well, now that we're discussing this point,
Are we about to get a press from a press?
would you be willing to tell us the names of the books you saw?
Of course. Listen up, everyone. If the names of the books are different, then I'm presenting the receipt. Let's see. There was Monsieur something, right? Someone, right? And the something tales. Then there was Somewhere Under the Sea. And the last one's The Adventure of Something. Hey? Amazing, right? It was certainly something. The Adventures of Something. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes? I'm starting to remember a certain someone had The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes in their apartment, in their flat. Huh? Yeah, it was great. Great at helping me continue the trial. Thank you, you just brought up a contradiction. Well, I guess that was an amazing amount of vague wording. It was close enough. Well, this ain't horseshoes or hand grenades.
Indeed, the names of the books were close enough to that.
Here, I'm just gonna gloss over the fact that there are 4 instead of 3. See? Look, I'm right. But you're gonna have to throttle me and say, nope, man, not trustworthy. Right, darling? How does this make you feel? Sleepy? Mortified? You have a gun! Do not bring a gun. Well, I was just asking earlier, did anyone bring a gun to court? You brought a revolver.
6 shots, more than enough to fire to kill anything that moves.
Anyone who bullies Rolla is gonna get a face full of lead. Got it? Put the gun down, sir. It's not loaded, is it? Jeez. No bullet. Tiny pistol.
But big punch. He seems so peaceful in his sleep.
He's still holding the gun. Please take that away from his hand before he accidentally pulls the trigger while he's in the middle of REM. His threat wasn't all that peaceful. Not to me, at least. No bully. Is that all that they have to say? How are you feeling, Naruhodo? First impression is bad. There's not much. Alright, okay. So, it's what I thought. I either have to present the receipt or the picture. You know what? I could just save. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I mean, it's the first penalty, so there's not much at stake, but still. Okay, let's go over to that statement. Boop-a-da-boop, bam bam. Names of all the books. So, let's say the receipt for now, I guess? It was almost accurate. Oh, there you go. Good. Can you tell me more about how these 4 books... can you tell me more about the 4 books that had fallen on the ground? Thanks for the save, Hector. Of course! I totally remember them! Somewhere Under the Sea, Monster or Something. Something Tales and the Adventure or Something. No, no, no! One of those things is not like the other thing. One of those things just doesn't belong. It really does pain me to say this, but... there's a major issue with your testimony. What? There should have only been 3 books at the scene of the crime. Bam! Got him. Huh? Huh? I happen to have a receipt from the used bookshop. Tattletale's Book Emporium. It shows what books the defendant bought on the day of the crime. And as you can see, there are only 3 books listed here. Only 3? No. No
swear I saw it. There were 4 filthy books on the ground.
Take a look at this photo of the crime scene. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. Every time it makes me laugh at the crime scene. That's not the lyrics. This corroborates the information from the receipt. There were only 3 books. So, okay, now I'm bringing up the picture. What would have happened if I had brought up the picture in response to that? That should have worked.
You think I'm gonna believe that? I swear.
You shouldn't left the crime scene. This is true. Only had photographs of the crime scene. Look at this graph.
I saw it.
You can't put any stock in your observational skills at this point. What, that invalidates the entire argument?
No.
And thus, your testimony that the defendant was the criminal you saw might possibly be another mistake.
What?
You heard me. Prosecutor Van Zeeks, nice of you to join us. What's your explanation this time? No wine, huh?
I must say,
Is it leggy time?
the most disappointing one among us is you, Japanese boy.
What now?
These witnesses saw the defendant fleeing from the scene of the crime.
Where did you get that so fast? I'm telling you, it's under the desk.
You knew that you couldn't disprove this fact. So instead, you decided to sweep it under the rug and nitpick at all these small inconsistencies. Is that about right?
How can he see right through me?
But your poorly prepared plan did nothing but backfire.
What do you mean?
It is simple. Our diligent constable's wife testified correctly. There were no contradictions.
There was just a 4th book that's gone missing, eh?
Huh?
So, did this book actually exist? If so, where is it now? I feel that the location of that book is of utmost importance. A certain somebody named John Garadav had it. Yes, James John. Whoever he was. The bookmark said James.
After the crime, there were undoubtedly 4 books left on Briar Road.
Why is this the first we've heard of it? But if you look at the photo of the crime scene, isn't it clear that there are only 3 books?
Yes, there were only 3 books in view of the camera.
In view? You don't mean... There goes Holy Grail number 532,612.
I have brought another photo with me. It shows what the victim was holding. It was a wine glass. It shows the victim throwing it on the ground. Oh wait, no, this is one of my personal pictures. Don't look at that. They were holding it?
Why? The Adventure of the Lion's Mane. Is that not the book in Garadeb's home? That's the 4th book. The 16th student. Watch out for her.
As you can clearly see, the last book is hidden beneath the victim's body. Behind.
No, it can't be! Turned it around on my head. You really are just waiting until the last second to just make me so sad. Destroy everything I've built up to this point. What was the point of making an argument?
Order. Order in the court.
Huh? See? Look! Look at it! Take a good look!
Okay.
It's just like I said. Alright, darling.
Baroque is cruel. Hammy's calling it now. It was stolen and she was running. Why would she rob from the bookstore, though? Or unless she was robbing from him? Oh no, wait. Maybe he brought 3 books and she had a 4th one? Maybe it's not from the store then. Maybe she just had the book.
You've got that right. Rolla, you're the greatest.
Shall we examine the defendant's bookshop receipt in closer detail? Witness, repeat to us the names of the books you saw.
Monsieur something.
That would be Monsieur Lecoq.
The something tales.
And the Canterbury Tales.
Somewhere under the sea.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Jules Verne, a classic.
So far, all of the titles of these books have matched the receipt exactly.
What? You're telling me it says something? Wow, yeah, look at it. It says Monsieur something, something under the sea, and the something tales. Why didn't I see that before? I'm blind. Where did that 4th book come from, though?
In my opinion, that shows brilliant capacity for observation and recollection.
Or at least kinda good enough recollection.
Oh, thank you. Did you hear that, darling? Damn right. 3 cheers for Rolla.
Zeeks knows how to take the trial his way. Turn it around. It was his to begin with. Just toying with our emotions, apparently. I've been sitting here grasping at straws. He's over there with a pair of scissors, cutting them up as they go. Then, every straw I have is the last straw, the short end of the stick. Then the 4th book, the one missing from the receipt.
Don't think too hard now. The book shown in the picture is the 4th book.
Well, this is mystifying indeed. I wonder why the 4th book isn't listed on the receipt.
I guess the argument could be easy enough to say that he just had the book on him. It was from a previous purchase.
There's nothing mystifying about it. The victim is the one holding the 4th book. Therefore, this book belongs to the victim herself.
So the victim was holding her own book. I'm not sure. What's important about it? How can I turn this around?
By the way, what do you think happened to the last book?
As we all know, Scotland Yard wouldn't overlook this. I have it here with me, preserved as evidence.
Oh, so it's not the copy inside Garrett Deb's apartment, huh?
Very well.
Very well. The court demands that you submit this picture and book into evidence.
As you wish.
Crime scene photo 2 has been filed in. Another photograph taken by the police of the crime scene. The book's clearly visible in the victim's hand. 4th book, Adventure of the Lion's Mane, found in the victim's hand during the crime scene investigation.
That is all.
Why do I get the feeling that I already lost? Please, jury, do not change your verdicts.
This prosecution has no further evidence.
Means we get to stare at it. Look at the book. But the evidence, though. Hold on, I'll do it after this this dialogue. How can this be?
This was the obvious outcome, Japanese boy.
Yugi boy. You tried so hard. That's no, not doing that voice.
You tried so hard to put every scrap of feeble resistance you could muster. Your closing argument concluded with a red herring, possibility of Tim taking the long way. And your cross-examination concluded with worthless doubts about the witness's memory.
But in the end, maybe he's right.
Yep, we were only told the truth of what we saw. Nothing but the truth. All right, darling.
Yeah, Rolla. Marry me, Rolla. You already did.
Now I'd like to hear the jury's thoughts on the matter once again. Need we waste more time before we bring holy judgment on the Japanese devil? This will be the last time. Citizen jurors of the capital, we request your sage verdict.
For a second, I thought that said savage verdict. It's gonna be savage to me. Zeeks, we beat you last time. Oh, what are the chances we could ever win again? It was only a fluke. He's not untouchable. We already proved this. Yes.
We've exhaustively investigated all of the witnesses and the evidence. There's no point in further deliberation.
He wants to end it, and he wants to end it now. Naruhodo, this is an extremely delicate situation. I know, but if I just throw out a baseless objection, it could make things even worse. What are you going to do here, Ryunosuke Naruhodo? You know, raise a baseless objection? Always do it. Never decline. It's never the wrong answer. It's Ace Attorney. Hold it, please.
It's too late, attorney. This cross-examination was your last chance at a rebuttal.
Sometimes it's wrong. I mean, that's true. I just didn't want to spoil it. Almost all the time it's wrong. And when it's not right, they usually let me do it again.
Now that it has ended, the discussion of the evidence has been concluded as well.
That may be, but there's still evidence we haven't presented, I think. I can't do it. The right words just won't come out.
Oh. May I have a word with you, prosecutor? I believe it's a little rash to say that we've finished going over everything.
Susato with the save, help me.
I shouldn't be surprised, considering you have come from a lawless Oriental land.
What do you think this is, barbarianism? Your view of us gets less and less cultured by the second.
But at this point of the trial, a legal assistant should know when not to open her mouth.
Oh, won't let it get to you, Susato. He's just being a big old meanie pants. I'm still far too inexperienced as an attorney. So, I'm sorry if it's such a problem for you, but I still need my legal assistant's aid.
Naruhodo!
Oh. The court philosophy of our empire is tolerance. I will allow the legal assistant to speak.
Susato, if you please.
All right. Then let's hear what you have to say, legal assistant. Where could you possibly see any more room for deliberation?
Actually, new evidence was submitted at the end of the last cross-examination. Stand up for her. Susato is my waifu. And she can do nothing wrong. Is that standing up? That's me talking as Naruhodo right now, of course. Totally.
Then you mean there still remains evidence that needs to be examined, is that correct?
Are you ready for this, Naruhodo?
I don't know. Starting to sound like a basketball game. Are you ready for this?
It's likely that if we fail to present vital evidence at this point, the judge really will demand a verdict from the jury.
Do I only get one chance? No way.
Of course, we'll also be asked why the evidence is so important. I suggest carefully examining the new evidence before you present anything.
Will do. Just waiting for my cue. Let's take a good hard look at everything. There's the book. The Adventures of the Lion's Mane. Very pretty. And the fourth book. The book. It's burned. Hey now. So this probably came from Garrida's apartment, his flat. But why? What does this have to? Why would it's not from the library? It's not from the bookstore. How did she have this?
Look at this! What a terrible burn!
Fire! PK fire! Wow, it must be unreadable in this state, especially the latter half of it. You can piece together your own story. Yeah, it's like the Samurai Pizza Cats. They invented an anime based on just the footage without any audio. Well, I mean, the anime already existed. They just came up with a story. It's such a shame for this to happen to a good book. Upon further examination, it seems that the burn was rather recent. The book was burned recently, huh? Something about this bothers me. The book named The Adventure of the Lion's Mane, found in the victim's hand. The back has been burnt. What were you talking about with an anime? Samurai Pizza Cats. You never heard of it? It's this old show that got localized. It was in the early days of localization where they didn't really care about making it an accurate translation. They just wanted a kid's show that they could sell to people. So they took an existing show from Japan. They weren't given the original audio, so they had to come up with the story themselves just by what was happening on screen. And thus, Samurai Pizza Cats was born. Maybe we'll have an anime night of it. Good idea, good idea. All right, Susato. Understood. Thank you, Susato. Sounds amazing. Oh, you should definitely check it out. It is a relic of its time. Susato gave me this final chance. Again. She's too good to me. I can't let it go to waste. The defense is prepared to present evidence.
Oh. Very well. The court will allow the defense to present one final piece of evidence.
Which piece of evidence holds a vital yet dormant clue that has yet to be investigated? Dun, 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 dun. That would be what is shown in the new photo of the crime scene. I bet I could have presented either one. Specifically, the fourth book left at the scene. What? It's like ghost stories? Oh, I never watched that one. They told the English VAs to do whatever they wanted and the rest was glorious. Oh no. Knowing Hammy, it was probably completely vulgar.
I do believe that we've already reached a conclusion regarding this book. It's clear that it is unrelated to the incident beyond being in the victim's possession. There is absolutely no need to look into this book any further.
The court does agree with the prosecution on this matter. However, the defense made a certain claim earlier. He said that there's a clue dormant within this piece of evidence. The court requests that you show this clue. Are you prepared, attorney?
Well, of course. Yeah. Every time. Naruhodo, the prosecution is desperately trying to avoid further investigation of this book. I think that means you're moving along the right path.
Okay, understood. Attorney, the court orders you to show us this new clue. What vital clue is left on the fourth book? Right there. Got it. Kokoda. It's here. I know Japanese. No, I don't. Would you allow me to show you the back of this book? The back? Oh, it's been burnt to a crisp. The book's in awful condition. I have to wonder why the victim would bother carrying such an unreadable book. It's definitely unnatural, don't you think? It wasn't hers. Why was she carrying it? To show it to the police?
Unnatural? What about it, Japanese boy?
Huh?
Unnatural or not, should this burn have no ties to the case, then it is not worth arguing over. However, if you mean to assert that the burn on this book is a clue, then what truth is this clue supposed to lead us to?
The truth of if Sherlock actually is as awesome as he is in his books. The truth is no, unfortunately. A burned book? His deductions are only 30% as accurate. Actually, there is one possibility that comes to mind. It's a far-fetched possibility, but we'll have to run with it. We're seeking the truth. We'll find that golden nugget of information. All right, the defense is prepared to share its thoughts.
Now, the court must ask you to present one more answer, attorney. What is the truth to be gleaned from the burn marks on this book?
The owner of the book. One reasonable truth to be gleaned from the burns on the book is the true owner of this book.
What?
Well, it's already obvious who it belongs to, isn't it? The lady who got stabbed was clutching it in her hand.
Nope, nope, nope. I can't claim to know exactly how the book ended up in her hand like that, or even why it's related. But as for who owns this book and where it came from, the defense may be able to make that clear.
But how?
By referring to the investigation that we thought was useless yesterday. It ended up being relevant after all. How quaint. Nothing in Ace Attorney is ever irrelevant.
Fine, I shall play along with your desperate squirming for now. But remember, that squirming might lead you to an unfavorable verdict. Muda!
Muda, 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 muda! Attorney, your answer to the following question may change the direction of this trial. Who is the true owner of this mercilessly scorched book?
Dun, 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 dun. John Gyakuten. But why? This gets curious and curiouser. Okay, quick. Panda Joan Gyakuten, the wife. She's bound to be sweating bullets at this point. That would be the landlords of Mr. Natsumi's flat. The Gyakuten family!
The landlords?
Yeah, cue reaction from the juror? No? Maybe? I don't know if it's a wild coincidence or if it was fate. But among the 6 citizens chosen as the trial's jury, one of the Gyakutens is present right now. Mrs. Gyakuten, the maid.
Me? Please, hold on. You see, I'm not his wife to begin with. I'm just his maid, and this is not a wedding ring. It's just a ring of my face. See, look. Isn't this a resemblance uncanny?
Wow, you're right. It's the sun. Weenie just noticed the rotating sun. What rotating sun? I don't know what you're talking about. It's nowhere, I swear. We can leave your odd marital circumstances aside for now. All I need is for you to answer one simple question. Wasn't this book Mr. John Garrett in John Garrett's room?
I've never seen that book before. Why do you think I...
You're objecting to the juror? You're helping me out? You are joking. Is he? He's on the side of truth, of course. Van Zeeks, please. Oh no, he's objecting me.
You have lost your mind, Japanese boy. The defendant's landlord? Really? You have no basis for your claim, yet you dare point that vile finger at the law-abiding citizen. No forgiveness could be given to such an act.
Are you indicting the landlord? I might have to. The patented Naruhodo strategy. I mean, I did it in the last case, but apparently Cosney was actually guilty. Whoops. Hopefully that's not the case here. The two of us happen to know the truth. On the day of the crime, at about the time when the victim was stabbed, one more incident was unfolding in Mr. Gyakut's room.
One more? What in the world are you speaking of?
A fire.
Ho!
Indeed, the whole fiasco happened in the blink of an eye. The moment the flames flared up, the whole room was engulfed in thick smoke. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before the fire spread to the furniture. I ended up losing the adventure of the lion's mane, and I was just getting to the good part.
He said specifically the name of that book. I remembered. Test. Hammy's back, yes.
The Adventure of the Lion's Mane.
It's the same name as the book we have here.
Oh,
Balderdash. All it means is that 2 books of the same name had been burned. And that book was likely lost in the fire anyway. There's no possibly way that it could have been moved to the crime scene.
And yet, there it is. Is there any way you could explain that? Just so you know, the cause of the fire was apparently a fight between the Gyakutens. I'll leave out the details, but the wife was absolutely furious. Even as the flames raged around them, she kept attacking Mr. Gyakuten.
wow. I could never imagine that. Right, darling?
The complete opposite of their marital status right here. They're so in love. You hear all that? Rola's as pacifistic as they get. She completed Undertale, you know. Flashback, flashback.
All of my favorite books were lined up on that bookshelf, but now they've been swallowed by the flames, burnt to a crisp just like that. And to add insult to injury, my very own wife threw those books at me in her fury.
Oh? Threw them at you, drove you back to the window. Maybe one of the windows was open? They claimed earlier that it was closed, though, because it was winter, and if you open the door, you would just freeze. Open the window. But let's just think of the possibility.
She drove me back to the window, assaulting me with burning books.
Fury! Rage! Clearly, it was the Fury that started the fire. The Fury! Random internet outage from Hammy, yes. I'm sorry, hopefully you're good now. Maybe it broke the window? It didn't seem broken on the day we came there.
She threw the book towards the window and then... Oh, it can't be! The book flew through the window toward the crime scene?
That would explain how it got there so fast, but... Why was she holding it?
On that night, I briefly investigated the nearby homes in hopes of gaining information. The Sherlock Holmes. Ha! But I was not informed that Mr. Gyakut's window had been broken.
Right, and when we visited, the glass was intact. So once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains is that he was just wearing... Not wearing... my mind slipped. The window just happened to be open. At the time, the window might have been open.
It was not.
Do you have proof?
The crime took place on a winter night that would freeze any man to the bone. London would never have left his window open.
Yeah, but if there was a fire, he might have wanted the smoke to get out. Well... That message was delayed. What? Is it?
Are you making an earnest assumption? Are you making an earnest assertion, attorney? Do you claim that this book was burned and thrown out the home by an angry wife?
Not outside the realm of possibility, no. I believe it's possible. Ooh.
Now you see, all right? That self-proclaimed Japanese attorney was over there. He's nothing but a yellow-bellied coward.
Well, you know, Exhibit A, Your Honor. The wife in all her fury. Keep at it. You're proving me right. What do you mean by coward?
You say our home almost turned into a sea of flames in the middle of a fight. And you say I'm pretending to be a maid to keep up appearances. None of that's related to this trial. You're just hurling insults at me. No, bully!
No! I swear, I never...
To think you would insult a Londoner just to distract everyone from the truth.
What? Juror number 5 had to dodge out of the way.
You think that's going to fly? You don't see that you're a monster?
She's absolutely right. We listened to his side of the argument just to be sure of our verdict. But now, look. Dodge! There's only one person who could have stabbed the victim in the back. It was the man who ran away from the scene point. That mustachioed little man. What was his name? Oh yes, Mario. He was running and jumping all the way from the crime scene. Very agile too.
It does seem that way.
Mario? I didn't do it, Luigi. I'm innocent.
It's the truth.
Yeah, you've got it.
Sure as hell.
Huh? What was that?
It would seem that the jurors have all come to a conclusion once again.
No, I worked so hard to get those verdicts changed. It's just gonna change back? Do I have any legal recourse to change it again? Please tell me I do.
What are your thoughts of Lord Van Zeeks? I think I'd have a bit of wine. These further deliberations were little more than a waste of time. But now, we can make up for those precious minutes we lost.
Hey, wait! The mystery of the 4th book still hasn't... Ugh. Well, we've reached the foot slam. That means we're getting close to the end of the trial, I guess. Nah.
After this trial is over, you can have your fun with that mystery once you return home.
Deported? Oh. It doesn't look like he's willing to apologize for his impudence this time.
Well, why would I? I never broke any wine glasses. Not yet.
Very well. Now, jurors, the time has come once again for Lord Van Zeeks to break another wine glass.
Actually, no. I'd rather keep this one. It's the last one.
Present your verdict to the court.
Yuzai!
Yuzai.
Yuzai.
Yuzu!
Yuzai.
Oh.
Yuzai.
Well, rest in pepperoni. There's no way someone's not gonna bust in right now. We have no more arguments.
The jury has certainly made its verdict clear.
Another guilty verdict. And this time... Naruhodo, keep facing forward. Huh? Susato, have you forgotten? This battle is far from over. How could it be any less over, Susato? We already had one closing argument. We're gonna have another? Do you mean? Yes, the defense still has the right to a closing argument. One more closing argument to overturn this mistaken verdict. Huh? My lord, the defense asserts our right to a closing argument. Do I get another one?
Ha! Surely you should be running out of seeds of the seed to sow by now.
Oh, I got plenty of seed for you. I mean, what? That came out wrong. This isn't deceit. Neither it is the seed. This closing argument is for the pursuit of truth. This isn't the time to hang my head. As long as there's a chance, I have to stand tall and keep facing forward. Stand proud. I guess that's a seed we'll have to plant next time, though. I don't think I've got it in me to continue on. I might just have to call it here for now. I'm sorry. We are not any more closer to the truth. If anything, we raised more questions than we answered. But we have a lead. Mr. Gyakuten is involved somehow. Even if it's... You know what? if the window was not open, that's even more reason for Gyakut's family to be more suspicious. There was a reason she was holding that book. We just don't know why. But I don't know. I can't tell. It's something we'll have to bring him to the stand for, probably. I don't know. I'm curious. I really do want to find out, but I don't think I have it in me to stream any longer than I am right now. I kind of went too long last night, and now I'm passing out. It happens. I'm pulling a Marlin. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. If you haven't already, again, you can follow me on Twitch to catch me live next time I stream this. Probably, it's hard because I'm not going to be here this week for the rest of this week. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, I'll be at Fanime. I might stream on those nights, but it may be party games with some friends over up there. So we'll see what happens. But I promise you, next week, for sure, we'll be playing this. We'll be playing Danganronpa V3, along with other things. You can follow my YouTube for past videos of things I've played before, and follow my Twitter for updates about the stream, live updates, all that good stuff. So without further ado, if I need to go to sleep, I will let me. Oh my, I'm passing out. In the meantime, stay cool. I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye. Rather anticlimactic, but we'll get there. I promise. I'm sorry it's a cliffhanger before break. But we'll continue. I swear. Mark my worms.